What's going on? Legion Hooter here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds, and welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind episode 53. So, what we're going to be doing is working on woodcutting today. This actually, I'm sort of trying to clear a new area, and there actually seems to be quite a bit of red berry bushes out here. So I might actually eventually want to put a lodestone out here, as that would give me quick access to get red berries for cooking. So we haven't been doing much behind the scenes. We accidentally just ate a red berry, but we haven't been doing a lot behind the scenes as we actually haven't been feeling too good. So we pretty much just going to be doing everything that we're going to do on this episode. So I'm just constantly going back and forth what the updates are going to be coming to the game, and then sort of what's already in the game, and it's just interesting to me because I feel like the game's missing quite a bit, and I also feel like it's just so crazy because range is going to be coming out, but I feel like the game is just missing a lot. And having us wait, what is it, about like 8 months for another update in the game just seems absolutely wild. But I suppose next year the updates will be a little bit more consistent. So that's obviously something that's going to be a good thing. So initially it won't be as quick, but it will get better over time. It sounds like, as long as everything goes to plan for them, the developers. So ultimately, woodcutting takes a really long time to level up. There's no way around it. Since the XP nerf to Splinter and Astral, there's another spell, Astral. What is it? Astral projection. So once they changed that, obviously long ago, it really changed the XP rates for woodcutting. But I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? We've still got to get it done. So what we're trying to do here is clear this part of the forest, as we get to sort of create a different scenery in the game. And I actually I like doing that quite a bit. So let's see if it picks up this second log though, because that's good. Don't want to waste that potential XP when we do that spell, as the respawn timer on that is quite large. So ultimately, we're going to be working on woodcutting in this video, which we've already stated, but I think it is worth mentioning that it's just crazy that how much wood I'm going to go have to pick up later on in the game, because we obviously don't always have that spell active, and I really don't think it makes sense to sort of wait for it or even to cut the wood on the ground. I feel like it makes a lot more sense to sort of use that spell. I think that's a big deal. So we pretty much are going to be coming back at different times in different areas with our lodestones and just grabbing the wood that we can. But that's actually really cool. These roots sort of coming off the mountain. But ultimately, it looks like there's a lot of potatoes out here too as well. So if we did put lodestone out here for red berries, we would also get a lot of potatoes. What is that, like? Almost, that's a lot of potatoes. So we are going to knock down these two trees, and we've got some goblins over there as well. But I believe that as we sort of use our lodestones to start chopping down trees all over the place, that eventually it's all going to converge together, and then there won't be any more trees in the beginner area. And then obviously there's plenty of other trees in the fractured plains, somewhat. Well, actually quite a bit in the fractured plains. The storm-touched highlands is what I was really thinking about. That one does not have nearly as much, that's for sure. But you can see here, just wood cutting takes forever. I thought I would cut that tree down. I don't understand why that one's there. Potentially, I wonder if there's ever glitches when you sort of cut a tree down. Does it just like grow back? I wonder how often that happens. I probably just missed it, but I think it's still an interesting thing to sort of explore. So let's see. We got two here if we can hurry. We did get two. But there's just a ways to go. We've got all these different things we're trying to work at in the game, and I think that the only way to actually achieve them is forward. You just have to keep going ahead, because you can't really slack on it. I think that you've got to just keep putting pressure on your objectives in a game, and it's a little tough, I'm not going to lie, keeping myself grounded to this idea that essentially we're not going to have any new content for such a long time. And I really don't count range as new content. I feel like we're missing a lot of creatures. I think that's the biggest thing for me. And that makes it really difficult because I don't really like killing the same creature over and over for 8 months, and there's just not enough variety. I feel like that's something that really should have been looked a little bit further into, especially knowing potentially that there wouldn't be any new content for such a long time. So I really wish they would have looked at that a little bit more. But obviously, there's not much we can do about it now. It's just something that I'm sort of mentioning, and I really wish they had done that because obviously it's a little bit. It's like smashing your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over and over. But I know that there's going to be new content coming into the game, and I think that we also can be happy about that as well. And that I think we're in pretty good hands in regards to that. But yes, woodcutting is just absolutely horrible. We forgot to pop a potion. I'm not sure how long that hasn't been active, but it's just absolutely horrible. The XP is atrocious, but we do have our goal at 1 million, so I know we're going to get there. It's just going to take dedication and putting aside time to sort of get it to happen. It's very interesting to me too that when you cut the trees down, it changes sort of the sun and the lighting of the game. And I think that's another really cool thing that once you start to get rid of trees, that's why I've talked about before, you're sort of creating a new landscape for the game. And I think that's really cool because I don't think a lot of games are like that. Like if you cut a tree down, it's usually going to grow back. I haven't played a lot of survival games, so maybe that's not the case actually. For survival games, I've got no idea. But you can see we're starting to get to an area over there where we've already cut down a lot of trees. So areas are starting to blend together. And I think that that's awesome because it just means everything's going to tie in and feel really good when we finally accomplish not only just the 1 million woodcutting XP, but also having everything really close together. That we've cut down all the trees. I think it's going to be really cool to look at. I think it's going to decrease the load in for coming into the game in certain areas. All this stuff we have to wait and see though, because I'm not 100% sure. But it also helps because I've spent a lot of time in a game in the beginning doing different things and sort of in the beginning I sort of built a lot of those crafting table right there so I can go back and sort of destroy those. I'm not necessarily concerned with the resources it's going to give back because I could really care less. It's more so not having extra stuff in the game that's built that really doesn't need to be here. You could even argue that I've got the Titanic built and other things like that, and they don't really need to be here, but I feel like that's a staple of my game at this point, and I feel like that's sort of the roots of my story for RuneScape Dragonwilds. So I think it will be quite interesting. I'm not sure how far along we're going to get with everything that we want to get done in the game by the time range is here, but obviously we don't want to completely eliminate everything because then there really won't be anything left to do except range. And then that's another sort of thing I was thinking about is what are my what do I think it's going to look like? Like my expectation for range, magic, and attack. What's reasonable? Now you could say there's new creatures coming to the game, and that it'll be easier to get XP in those skills, but I actually think it's quite the opposite because I think that when you introduce new creatures into the game, they're going to be obviously a much harder difficulty, and you're going to have to use a lot more of the survivability skills to navigate around them. So I don't really think it's going to be faster XP, but I guess if they gave a larger amount, I think that's the only way that that would really blend in and work with that. That would make a lot more sense. That potentially, based on the fact that you had to do so much to maneuver and kill these creatures, that they thought it was worth more XP. So those are just things we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens and sort of which route they want to take. But I think that's an exciting thing, but it's also something that I'm a little bit concerned about because obviously, as I talk about this a lot, I'm not sure what level 99 is going to look like. And what that basically means is 300,000 XP in attack probably going to be level 99? And I don't think the answer is yes. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, but I think ultimately I'm leaning towards at least 1 million XP, right, in a skill, but it's really too early to tell. So I guess I just have to wait and see. But that would be horrible, 1 million XP in attack. But I guess there are quests, right? And they'll give you XP in different things as well. So I guess that could help people along the way. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what that really looks like. Um, and then when you kill dragons, I'm sure those are gonna be great XP, just like the Abyssal Demon. And once they add a lot of dragons into the game, then you'll be able to kill them repetitively and get a lot of XP. But I think we've got to be a little bit honest with ourselves and say, I really doubt that the dragons that you can kill, repeatedly kill, are just going to be easy to kill. They're probably not. It's going to take quite a bit of effort to kill each one, and it probably is going to grant you quite a bit of XP and other good drops. But I think ultimately it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Oh, I guess I already have this one. Interesting. It's not glowing, so I guess that makes sense. But I don't remember grabbing that one. But then again, I've played this game for so long now. That makes sense that I don't remember. Because obviously you just forget certain things. But ultimately, we're on our way to accomplishing what we want to in the game. And the only way we can truly get there is if we just keep it the course. I really should be picking the flags. Even though I don't want to. And the large reason I don't want to pick any more flags is because I'm flaxed out. Ultimately, I am trying to build those mannequins, so I'm going to need a little bit more. But for the most part, I feel like I've just collected so much flax in the game. So it's a little bit difficult for me to just sort of run around and collect every piece now. Looks like there's something glittering over there, so I guess I forgot to pick something up. But we are probably going to soon here head back to our base. It looks like our woodcutting potion sort of turned off again. But we're probably going to head back to our base actually and work on cooking for a little bit. And that's how we're going to probably end this episode. But we're so close. So I guess I should just take care of this tree really quick. I am right here. It just makes sense to do that. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. And then once we're done with that, then we can make our way. But I just didn't really think it made sense to leave this tree here. I mean, obviously, I don't have to come back now, and I could just sort of get the ones that need to be blasted into pieces. So our base is just over this way anyway. So we've cut down so many trees, and we've changed the landscape of the game. And I think that we're working towards so many cool things in the game, and I'm so excited for when new things come, because we'll be able to truly explore new things that come to the game in a way that's just going to be awesome. We're not going to have to grind out all this XP. So I'm really excited about it. The fact that we already have the XP to basically enjoy the game when things come out rather than have to have it be some sort of other progression. And why not, right? You've got 8 months until the next update. So it makes sense that you potentially would do that. It's also worth mentioning that I actually worked on my mannequins, I think, a little bit. I'm not sure if this was in the last episode, but we've got another row of bronze armor. So that's quite a big update, ultimately. It doesn't really seem like it, but obviously that takes a lot of time. So I think it's definitely substantial. So what I'd like to do now is actually get all this stuff here, and then we're going to work on cooking for a little bit. I hate to just drop things anywhere. It bothers me. I don't want to get too disorganized. And we are sort of breaking our rules right now, and I don't like doing that. So let's go ahead and pop a cooking potion. Actually, let's wait. We've got one left. What we're going to do is put all this stuff in here, and then we're actually going to go to sleep because we're such in a phase of night that I think we're going to be able to make it. So, and then we'll just pick it all up, and then we'll call it a day for this episode. We'll actually have to do an XP update as well, though. So I think that's something that we're going to have to do really quick as well. But ultimately, it's just never enough. Cooking takes so long, and you need so many resources. So this is going to be the biggest battle in the game. Unless they do something different in some of the expansions, this is going to be the one thing that you basically smash your head against a wall about. I feel like that's really where it is. It looks like we already had some things in here that we planned on doing, so that's actually quite nice. So let's go ahead and go to sleep, and then we're going to wake up, grab all the XP, do an XP update, and then now I've got a warband attacking my base. So that's just wonderful timing. I don't think they could have timed it any better. So let's try to pick up all this food and not get him completely annihilated in the process, because we've got that cooking potion activated. But it's so crazy when you see how many of these guys they send at you. And this is just wave one, I think, unless they came together. Usually it's like a second wave that comes behind. So let's just see if that happens. But we got not even a lot of cooking XP. It was actually a little bit ridiculous. So let's go through. Oh, we can't because they're here. So here we go. We're going to kill them and then do an XP update. And I don't think we got a ridiculous amount of XP in anything, but I think that's why when I do behind the scenes videos, you can truly see a lot more different things that have changed. And that's because I'm spending so much time behind the scenes. This is crazy. I'm going to die. I almost died. I've got 1 HP. That was actually really cool. I mean, not really. There was actually nothing cool about that. It's an absolute absurdity that they would attack you in that large of a group. But anyway, let's get into this XP update. 278,000 attack XP. Woodcutting, 925,000 XP. So it looks like we only potentially got about 5,000 XP. Construction, 2,006,000. Runecrafting, 504,000. Magic, 77,790 XP. And I will say that the runecrafting, I'm actually really happy about that. That's actually such a large number of XP. Mining, 4,057,000. Artisan, 4,053,000. And cooking is at 200,000. So, I mean, I definitely would call that a milestone in cooking because it takes so long to level up. So we're quite happy about it. And I know it doesn't even seem something that you would be happy or excited about. But ultimately, to me, it seems like a really big deal. I really want to kill these rats, but we're not going to go and do that. So thank you guys for watching. And until next time, Legion Looter out.